TIFU by going to jail for forgetting to pay a speeding ticket. TLDR. 2 years ago, I forget to pay a speeding traffic ticket while road tripping through a rural state. I got pulled over for speeding again and was arrested with a warrant for the unpaid ticket. I just spent 2 nights in the slammer and now have a criminal record with multiple misdemeanor convictions, and a crazy story for life. Let me know in the comments if anyone wants to see my mugshot. I'll link to it if enough people want to see. May as well own it at this point. /edit. Link below. I, 28F. Live in NorCal. My best friend from college lives in the Midwest. We're super close and have a long tradition of traveling back and forth to see one another. I've often done multi-day road trips to visit her. When driving through, I've gotten pulled over a few times in small towns in the middle of nowhere. But they always just let me go with a warning or speeding ticket. NBD and totally worth it to see my bestie. Enter 2020. We're stuck in quarantine and don't get to see one another. We decide we'll do a road trip as soon as we both get vaccinated. We flip to see who has to drive to see who. I lose and have to travel to her. All good. So a few weeks ago, we're all set. I cash in my vacation days at work, load up my car, and am off to see my friend for the first time in forever. Yay. After a few days on the road, I'm driving down a stretch of interstate in the middle of nowhere. I have the cruise control on and am rocking out in my Prius going about 85. Little do I know, the speed limit is 60. Eventually, I hear a blaring sound over the K-pop in my car. Police sirens, followed soon by flashing reds and blues. Damn. I pull over and turn off the keys. All good. I can charm my way out of this one. Easy. Out steps this Bubba, who looks like the stereotypical patrol cop. I cue up the doe eyes. He's going to let me off with a warning. I can feel it. In Midwestern accent. He says, "License and insurance, ma'am." Very abrupt. Something is off. As he runs my license in the squad car, I get a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. Then it hits me. The last time I came through this state, I got a speeding ticket. And it's still sitting in my glove box. Unpaid. More than 2 years later. Okay. No big deal. That's going to be a crazy fine. But nothing I can't handle. What's the worst that could happen? Well, as it turns out, ma'am, I need you to step out of the vehicle. You have warrants for reckless driving and failure to appear. My heart sinks. My hands are shaking. The words don't come out. All I can muster is, "Wait. No. Ma'am. Step out of the car." I'm about to throw up. I open the door and get out. That's when he says the words I never in million years thought I'd hear. "Ma'am, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest." Before I know it, I'm sitting in the back of a squad car, handcuffed and bawling my eyes out. Goodbye, Prius. Goodbye, road trip. Hello, criminal record. At the jail, I finally piece together what's going on. I have bench warrants and misdemeanor charges from that unpaid ticket 2 years ago. It was another 85 plus in a 60. When I originally got the ticket, I had a spaz moment. Stuck at my glove box. Went to see my friend. And completely forgot about it. Whoops. Apparently they sent me court notices to an old address that I never checked. Double whoops. Woman facepalming. I get fingerprinted and have my mugshot taken. It's like an out-of-body experience. They stick me in a cell with a bunch of meth heads and tweakers, who actually turn out to be kinda friendly. I wonder if I should make up some badass cover story about why I got arrested. I tell them the truth. Before long, I've got a jailhouse nickname. Cali Space Cadet. It all goes downhill from there. Long story short, I end up staying in the Podunk jail for 2 nights. They won't let me bond out because the bench warrant was from another nearby county that requires in-person appearances and picks up defendants on rotation. At 4 a.m., they come and pick up a bunch of us at the jail. I, along with about 30 other people in the same boat, get transported into court. Decked out in orange and fully shackled. One by one, the judge starts calling people up. When my turn comes, I shuffle up to the bench and bawl out the story. The judge looks pissed. She starts giving me a long-winded lecture about how I should have paid the ticket. I'm thinking the same thing and just nod along. I feel like an idiot and barely hold it together. By the time it's over, the judge seems to take pity. I bond out of there. Eventually, I get in touch with my BF. After flipping out, she helps me rescue my Prius from impound and find a lawyer to deal with everything. All in all, with the 3 charges, court costs, and fines, my original $300 ticket ends up costing over $4,500. After more than 48 hours behind bars, I get my car back and meet up with my bestie. I tell her I owe her big time for helping me get out of the joint and ask what I can do to repay her. She says, "It's simple. Post this to our TIFU." Quote. Edit. Reposted for length. Edit 2. Thanks to everyone for reading and commenting. I'm learning a lot. Here is my mugshot. https://pfa7w.jpg. Edit 3. Thank you all so much for the comments. We are totally blown away by the reception of this post. I had no idea so many people had similar experiences out there. I'm touched by all the stories. I'm really taking your comments to heart. I am never, ever, going to drive that way again. Changed some off-color word choices in response to people's comments. Also, for both tickets, I was driving on a straight rural highway with no other cars around. I still completely fucked up by speeding and 100% deserved to get arrested for the warrant. But just wanted to clarify that since a lot of people brought it up. Got a seatbelt ticket one time, totally forgot to pay it. Me and my dad have the same name and they were all out on the lake. Cops pull up to do all the routine safety checks. Oh hey, you have a warrant for your arrest. They took my fucking dad to jail. Probably the maddest I ever made him. That's a good ol' FCK up you'll enjoy telling your grandchildren. And you'll definitely have to show us the mugshot. Heck, you need to have it framed and put on display in every room. In Virginia you can go to jail for less than that. The speed limit on most interstates is 70, but if you get busted above 85, it's reckless driving. An actual criminal charge. It used to be above 80. I got busted in 2019 for doing 86 in a 70. It was about a $1,000 ordeal. I ended up getting probation for 6 months. Traffic school. And once I completed that they put it down to a regular speeding ticket. For what it's worth, my lawyer told me that you normally don't get jail time until around 93 or so. But you definitely will if you hit 100 in most cases. So I was never going to get jail. When I was in college I got a parking ticket in a small town. I had been used to ignoring the parking tickets I got on campus. I thought, what are they going to do? I'm never coming back here. Then one day a letter arrived. The letter was written in all caps and said I was summoned to court for the unpaid ticket. But I could pay the ticket. And a late fee. To cancel the summons. I paid immediately after changing my underwear. Cali Space Cadet. Next episode on Orange is the New Black. You'd think you would remember to not go 85 in a 60 after the first ticket lol. Be prepared for your car insurance premium to go through the roof. I'm thinking the same and just nod along. I'm sorry I laughed at this line. So casually written, I just picture you bawling your eyes out in this horrible situation and then this line. I'm glad you got out okay. This post just reminded me that I, too, have an outstanding speeding ticket. Thanks LMAO. How do you get pulled over so often? You gotta drive like a normal person. Moral. Don't be inattentive and forgetful, it can really put you in jail. I had something similar happen. Wrote a check when I was 19 for $200. The business who I gave it to didn't cash it for a few weeks and it bounced. Because I was bad at managing my finances at the time. Fast forward 5 years and my car gets broken into at a party. I give my name and number to the police and they show up at my door the next day with a 5-year-old bench warrant for failing to appear in court for the aforementioned check. This actually is a major problem in many parts of the U.S. Local municipalities rely on these tickets for revenue and local voters refuse to raise taxes to fund the court system, which causes further increased associated fines and fees. You were lucky because you were able to get the $4,500 to pay everything. However, a lower-income individual who did the same thing can be stuck in jail for much longer and be caught in an endless debt loop. Vice did a piece about this. Maybe you can see court you were at. Pretty messed up how there is no other option besides straight to jail for a petty mistake. Do you know why I pulled you over? Because you saw me before I saw you? That has to be your icon, thumbnail, biopic from now on. It's the law. I'm also from NorCal, and when I road tripped through the country a few years ago, I was tailed multiple times by cops. Luckily I was going the speed limit, but those cops don't play around, especially when you have a CA license plate. Kentucky was the worst, by the way. Lost my cell signal for Google Maps and couldn't locate a speed limit sign, so I had to guess the speed limit through a small town while a cop was on my tail the entire time. That was a stressful 30 minutes. Yep, he was tailing me for that long. Anyhow, I hope in the future you're a little more cautious about this if you travel again. So you used cruise control to speed 25 over the limit lol. That's the opposite of what that should be used for. Always just less than 10 miles per hour over. Ever heard the saying 9 you're fine, 10 you're mine? Words to live by on a road trip. I did something similar. Only time I've been arrested. Though I contend it wasn't my fault. I got a ticket for expired tags. But it was my works van and I was young and dumb and didn't check the sticker of every vehicle I drove. I just assumed if my boss was telling me to drive it, it was all set. So they give me the ticket but no specified fee on there. They said I'd get it in the mail. But months went by and I got nothing in the mail. Forgot about the whole thing. And moved, so I never got the letter whenever it came. Found out about a year later that I had a bench warrant when I went to the city clerk for something. Kind woman told me to just go take care of it. Though she was supposed to call the cops technically. So I bail myself at the bondsman ahead of time. The bail guy called the cops for me and they came and got me. They didn't even cuff me. But I did have to have my mugshot and prints taken. The judge expunged the arrest after I paid my fine, thank God. And I know sometimes they say it's expunged. But then some types of background checks still find those things. but I've had very deep background checks and it's never popped up. Small towns and counties in the Midwest make a good portion of their revenue from speeders on the major highways. I'll guess that you were in Kansas on I-70 or Nebraska. Maybe Iowa on I-80. They live for this shit. Local cops get reviewed on the number of tickets they write. Local judges enjoy being a source of revenue. Local lawyers get a payday when you hire them to deal with it for you. They make excessive speeding a reckless driving thing because then the fine is more. Here's a tip. When you get a ticket from a rural area, when you get home, find out the prosecuting attorney's name and number and give their office a call. Tell them you'd like to plead guilty and ask if you can get a break on the fine and maybe the reckless driving reduced because. Insert good excuse here. Money's tight. Insurance will go up. Points on driver's license. Etc. Many times, if you're pleasant and obsequious, they will allow you to enter a plea to a lesser charge and maybe reduce the fine. Fun thing is, when you write your check, it'll be made out to whoever the prosecuting attorney is, not the court. At least in my experience that's what happened. They don't want you in jail. They want your money.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.